Now, let me come to the most interesting part of today, and that is how to apply this linking technique while I am teaching. Now, look at this. This is a beautiful article that came in one of the newspapers. And the article is Film City Plans Facelift. I repeat, Film City Plans Facelift. This article came in Times of India approximately 19-20 years ago, and I made a note of it. Now let us imagine, if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there are 10 paragraphs. There are 10 paragraphs. My next question is, why does the authors write in paragraphs? Why does the authors write in paragraph? Because one paragraph has only one idea, and the moment the idea changes, paragraph changes. For example, in my example from jungle to cycle, first paragraph is jungle, second paragraph is mango and marriage, third paragraph mango, last paragraph is cycle. Now look at this article. I have made into slides for you to remember. Look at this article and look at this first paragraph. I am reading this paragraph for your benefit. As I am reading, kindly read in your mind so that you too are involved with me. The film city plans facelift. The government-run film city, which recently completed 15 years of existence, has been beset with security and infrastructural problems, discouraging several filmmakers from availing of its four indoor studios and breathtaking outdoor locations, all set in a sprawling 350-acre campus in Goregaon, East Mumbai. So, as I am reading, you are also mentally reading, and understand one thing: every paragraph has one key word. I repeat, every paragraph has one key word. The key word is the one thing that reminds you of the whole thing in the paragraph. For example, if you ask a question, why, where, when, what, whom, to that particular keyword, you remember the whole paragraph. Now, just to give you an idea, let me tell you the keyword for the first paragraph is film city, because you have to remember the article, and the most important word is security, because there is a security and infrastructural problems in film city. Now, don't take this exercise lightly. Be with me, and you'll be totally surprised at the end of this particular exercise. You remember the whole of this chapter effortlessly. Now, I'm coming to the second paragraph. Among other things, there have been complaints about bootlegging, the unauthorized removal of mud by builders, even the rape of a junior artist, and a murder in the area around Film City. Its personnel say that indeed these events took place. It was not within their premises, but along the access road, which was until recently used as a general thoroughfare. Now, all of you have heard the second paragraph. The correct word key word that reminds you the whole paragraph is complaints. But I cannot see complaint in my mind. What I can see is bootlegging. What I can see is bootlegging. So, what I am doing is in a small piece of paper, I am writing down film city, security, and the third keyword bootlegging. Now I'm coming to the third paragraph. Some Gunda elements had been attempting to take over sections of the ground, admits Mr. Govind Swarup, who took over in June as managing director of Maharashtra Film, Stage and Cultural Development Corporation, which runs Film City. But measures are being taken to improve the situation. He adds, my dear friends, now third paragraph, we need to select one particular word or one particular idea as a keyword and rightly Gunda elements written in inverted commas by the author himself is going to be the third word. Now, fourth paragraph. For a start, a gate manned by security guards has been put in at the point where the access road turns away from the nearby slum development colonies and approaches Film City. Entry into the main grounds is being restricted. This is the fourth paragraph. As I am reading, I am sure all the teachers are with me reading, and the keyword is gate. If you ask a question, which gate, where gate, why gate, and how gate, you remember the whole paragraph. This is only an example. What has to be done is the same thing can be utilized as a teacher when I'm studying to make the children remember. Now, fifth paragraph, roads leading to the nearby Array Colony and Borivali National Park have also been blocked with gates. This is expected to control the unfortunate tendency some filmmakers have had in the past to dump used plaster of Paris and cardboard sets in the park instead of the designated dumping ground in Malad, which is some distance away. Additional security personnel may be hired whenever necessary to beef up the regular guard strength of 48. Now, let me tell you something more interesting. There is nothing like this is the key word in a particular paragraph. Whatever you select as a keyword is a keyword. The more peculiar topic, more peculiar word you select, more you are likely to remember because the mind has a problem. The more peculiar things the mind remembers. Ordinary things are normally forgotten. So, what I am going to do is I will remember and write down plaster of Paris. Very good. But there is much more to be done. This is a sixth paragraph. After the last time we complained to the Ministry of Culture, we were promised a police choke in the area. A location was selected. Even a Muhurat that was well attended by dignitaries was conducted some 6 to 8 months ago, but nothing has happened since then, says the veteran filmmaker Shakti Samanta. Female stars leaving the place after late night shootings are particularly vulnerable to being mobbed by some of those they visiting nearby country bars. Mr. Samanta adds. The key word is police chowki. All right. The key word is police chowki. Now the next paragraph. Filmmaker B.R. Chopra, who was a director on the Film City Board during many of his early years, says that often the 12 makeup rooms with attached bathrooms are not well maintained. He is also concerned about the fact that the enterprise had consistently registered losses even of the golden years of 1990-91, when most of the studios at Film City were booked on a long-term basis by units making television extravaganzas like Chanakya, Bharat Ek Kosh, and his own Mahabharat. So I am picking up a keyword for remembering, and the keyword is very peculiar: bathrooms. I've underlined in red, underlined in red. Next paragraph. Mr. Swaroop attributes the accumulated rupees 2.8 crore loss mainly to the concessional rates offered to regional language films and past misfortunes like the film industry strike in late 1988 when the place was completely unused. Very easy to guess. The keyword is 2.8 crore loss. Next paragraph, I'm going to rush through this. Chopra also complains about the paucity of permanent sets on the ground. Temple, gardens, various corridors that show up in hospital, college scenes have all been so overused that regular film goers recognize them instantly. Studio manager Vittal Rathod. Now look at this. The key word is Vittal Rathod says there are plans to construct a new complex. Next paragraph, last paragraph probably, last paragraph, and then, my dear friends, any additional infrastructure has to be planned sensitively. Even walls or electric poles should be carefully placed. Their presence can ruin a location completely, especially if the production requires a period setting, he explains. So far, built up structures have been covered only 10 acres of the available land. In this paragraph, 10 acres is the key word. Now look at this last, this slide. Whatever are the keywords, I have put them in one slide. Film city, security, bootlegging, gunda elements, gate, plaster of Paris, police, bathroom, laws, new complex, 10 acres. If you look at this particular thing, this also looks like jungle, marriage, mango, scissors, etc., etc. That means whole of this particular article of 10 paragraphs, I have combined them, I have relegated it, I have summarized it into 10 words. By hook or crook, if you can remember these 11 words, you remember the chapter called Film City on a permanent basis. Now, let me ask you a question. Suppose this particular chapter, instead of 10 paragraphs, is 25 paragraphs or 35 paragraphs. Does it matter? No, it does not matter. Instead of 10 words, it becomes 35 words or 25 words. Now, the most practical aspects I am teaching you. My suggestion, request, please close your eyes for few minutes until I show you the visualization. All of you, close your eyes. Imagine you are visiting Film City in Mumbai. When you went there, there's a very big board called security. When you went there, bootlegging and gunda elements started throwing gate. The gate fell on a plaster of Paris mountain from underneath which the police escaped. They ran to the nearest bathroom, which is fully under laws, and they recovered the laws in a new complex situated in 10 acres of land. Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Let me once again remind you, Film City, when you went there, there is a board security. When you went there, bootlegging and goond elements threw gate. It fell on a plaster of Paris mountain from underneath which the police escaped. They ran to the nearest bathroom, which is fully under laws, and they recovered the laws in a new complex situated in 10 acres of land. Now, let your eyes be closed. Let me ask you, when you went to Film City, what was the board? Very good, security. When you went there, what happened? Bootlegging and goond element through gate. The gate fell on what? Plaster of Paris mountain, from underneath which escaped police. They ran where? To the bathroom, which is fully under laws. They recovered the laws in new complex situated in 10 acres of land. Now, let me tell you, each one of you, you're all teachers for the last several decades. You'll be totally surprised. These 11 words you will never forget, and those 25 words, jungle, marriage, mango, you will never forget because I am basically a memory trainer, a soft skill trainer. My job is to make sure that people remember. Now let us imagine the student or you go to the examination hall. Question comes right about the film city. For a fraction of a second, you close your eyes. The moment you close your eyes, you get the picture of film city, then security, bootlegging and gunda elements, and then gate and the plaster of Paris, and underneath the police escape to the bathroom, which is under laws, and then recovered in a new complex situated in 10 acres of land. You got the keyword, and each keyword you got to write 4 or 5 sentences. For example, loss means 2.84 crore loss in spite of the television extravaganzas in 1990-91. The moment you think of loss, the moment you think of bathroom, you remember how badly the bathrooms and the rooms are kept, says Rathod, who is the film city director, etc. etc. The moment you think of security, remember the problems of security film city. Now, can you see how easily we have remembered this particular chapter on a permanent basis? Now, let me go a step further. This is very, very vital for a teacher to become a dynamic and an effective teacher. When I say effective teacher, you teaching is not important. How much of what you have taught the students remember is more important. And remember, you might have taught them in a wonderful manner. The student does not remember what you told them. You are failing as a teacher. If you want to improve the memory of the students, there are only three techniques. I repeat, three techniques. The first one is called ingenious techniques. For example, classical example is linking technique. Linking technique. I taught you two linking series just now. One is Jungle Marriage Mango, another one is Film City Security Bootlegging Gunda Elements. Remember one thing, in the chapters, especially in commerce subjects, arts subjects, humanities subject, in languages, management subjects, the authors write in paragraphs. Wherever paragraphs are written, linking technique will work wonders. In fact, if a particular chapter is about 35 pages and there are 60 paragraphs, I repeat, 35 pages and 60 paragraphs, the children can remember all the paragraphs by remembering the keyword. What is the job of the teacher? To make them pick up these keywords and remember the whole paragraph. If you do that, the children will be grateful to you on a lifetime basis. First technique is linking technique. Second technique is pegging technique. The moment I say pegging technique, many of my teachers say, Sir, pegging technique, I know every night one or two pegs and total improvement of memory next morning. I'm not talking about alcohol, I'm talking about a beautiful technique called pegging. For example, in my example, where my students went on from 1 to 30 objects, they were able to tell you number 15, number 23, reverse, forwards. But in the linking technique, jungle series, if I ask you what is the 10th object, you will not be able to remember because that particular technique does not teach you numbers and memory. Pegging teaches you, but shortage of time, I cannot teach you pegging in this particular webinar. However, pegging is one of the most powerful technique for improving memory in general and in specific. The third technique of improving memory is called as a memory chains technique. Teachers may be wondering how I can use this memory chain very effectively. For example, when we were young, a very innovative, very creative teacher. I repeat, if you are not innovative, you are not creative in teaching, you cannot be called as a dynamic teacher. You must be very, very creative. You must have your own technique of teaching. Now, a very innovative teacher told us, very innovative teacher told us, Vib Gaya, to remember seven colors of the light, seven colors of rainbow: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. If that primary school teacher would not have told me Vib Gayar, even today I would not have remembered the colors in the same order. Can you see how creative was the teacher? Now, another example of a teacher who made things easy to remember. My very educated mother just showed us nine planets. Is a very interesting memory chain to remember the planets. To remember the planets. Me stands for Mercury, V stands for Venus, E stands for Earth, and they are given the priority in terms of distance from the sun. Can you see how beautiful it is? When I was in the medical college, there is a beautiful joint called wrist joint. We have eight bones making it up. We have a beautiful formula. She is too pretty. Try to catch her. Even today, after about 40 years of the medical college, I remember that formula. She is too pretty. Try to catch her. One more artery. Lily loves me. So many formulas our teachers taught. Even today, we remember those things. If you are a very good teacher, you can you can make a memory chain of a very important chapter and give it to your students, and they will remember all those points very, very effortlessly and permanently. Now, the second method of improving memory, first technique is called ingenious technique, second technique is called judicious techniques. The judicious techniques are also called as five wives, one husband theory. Oh my god, this is opposite of Pandavas. Five wives, one husband theory, particularly so, and the five wives are why, where, when, what, whom, and the only husband is how. My dear friends, as teachers, you should understand children should be asked to ask questions. In many chapters, people don't write in paragraphs. People don't write in paragraphs. They write in terms of scientifically without paragraphs with some formulas, etc., etc. For example, in physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, there are no paragraphs. You have got to ask questions: why, where, what, when, whom, how. For example, why does the lightning come earlier to thunder? Why is that there is some space between two railway tracks, etc., etc. If the students are encouraged to ask questions, then they remember the chapter on a permanent basis. The third method of improving memory for a student as well as for the teacher is mechanical methods, are also called as by hearting techniques. This by hearting technique is very important for a student. By hearting technique, because by hearting techniques comes into use for tables, classifications, formulas, theorems, and poems. H.W. Longfellow has written a poem. We don't know why he has written like that, but I need to by heart. For example, a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. He suddenly, just because the government in the center changes, it does not become a square plus b square plus 3ab. It remains always 2ab. Please understand, my dear friends, whatever in the textbook that cannot be changed, like tables, classifications, formulas, theorems, poems, simply by heart. Simply by heart as a rote method. For example, if the examination comes in the semester system, if the examination comes in the month of December, what you need to do is start by hearting as the chapters are getting covered. Tell your students to by heart. My strongest suggestion is keep one 500-page book. Ask your students to keep one 500-page book, or plus both of them can be done or one of them can be done, and take a set of charts or a 500-page book. For physics, 500-page book, chemistry 500, mathematics 500, biology 500, English language 500-page book. Or you can have 100 pages dedicated for each chapter, for each subject. So it becomes 500 pages. Now, each page, as each particular chapter is getting covered, you write the formula, classifications, etc., etc., there, and keep on reading those formulas and tables and theorems and formula and classifications, morning ones, evening ones, morning ones, evening ones, right from the month of June, July, August. June, July, August, by November, October, when you close your eyes and remember, it looks as though you're born with those formulas. They look like jungle, marriage, mango, etc., etc. Very interesting topic, very interesting method of by hearting. Normally, what the teachers do and what the teachers tell the students to do is please by heart the formulas at the time of examination. Then what happens is 17 into 14 they forget, and then it becomes 296 instead of 238. So formulas, tables, you should simply remember for your own efficiency in the future. Very important technique. My suggestion for all teachers: make the students by heart all the formulas, derivations all the time, and form techniques, and so that very easily, effortlessly, it can be rolled out in the examination. Normally, what the students do is, if the examination is in the month of December, they start by hearting the formulas from the December 1st onwards, and you have to by heart 150 times to get the same benefit. Instead of that, the right technique is start by hearting from the month of June, July, every day, morning once, evening once, just read those formulas, it becomes part of you.